You know what, guys? I often scroll on Netflix and I think Netflix needs more race-conscious filmmaking. It's really starved for that sort of thing. And luckily, we have it in their newest film, You People. Guys, spoiler alert, I am going to be talking about the details of this movie, so if you want to watch it before you know my thoughts, go and watch it on Netflix if you like. Otherwise, keep watching this video. Also, please like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time we post a new video for you guys. I am suffering through these movies, so if you would please like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Alright, so Netflix has a new movie on it titled You People, written by Kenya Barris and Jonah Hill. This movie, You People, features Jonah Hill and Lauren London, an interracial couple that have a little meet cute in Los Angeles and start dating. And Jonah Hill realizes, I want to marry this girl, but runs into the barrier of what? Parents and in-laws. Jonah Hill is a Los Angelino Jew and has a Jewish family, and Lauren London in this movie has a black Muslim family. The families meet, they clash over race-conscious issues, and they go through the turmoil of trying to navigate this relationship with families that are not agreeing with one another. Now, before we get into all the funny little race-conscious details of this film, let's talk about the writers, Jonah Hill and Kenya Barris. I really want to focus on Kenya Barris. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. He is the writer and creator behind things like Blackish, the TV show, BlackAF, you know what I mean by that, and a Juneteenth musical, as well as his newest project, which is redoing The Wizard of Oz through essentially the lens of race, where Dorothy, or his reiteration of Dorothy, is going to be a black girl from Inglewood who ends up moving from Inglewood instead of Oz to Underhood. Yep. So this is the creative genius behind this movie, You People. And I will say, when I saw the trailer for You People, I thought, you know, this actually might be kind of good. It's got Eddie Murphy, Jonah Hill's kind of funny, Lauren London's a great actress, Nia Long is in this movie, and, you know, I let my hopes get up just a little bit, that it wasn't going to be complete, just woke garbage, but then I watched the film, and alas, it was exactly that. So let's talk about the different dynamics that are present in this film. Jonah Hill and Lauren London get together, cute couple, whatever. Jonah Hill, it's just so apparent in this movie, loves black people. Loves black people. Every other word is something about a rapper or sneakers or black culture or black art and references. And it has to be known that Jonah Hill understands the culture of black people.
How do you do, fellow kids?
And appreciates the culture of black people. Now, his family, however, are the most ignorant, babbling white people you have probably ever seen in your life, because that's how we do movies these days. We have very archetypal characters. The white people have to be dumb or they have to be villainous. And in this case, they are somehow both. Jonah Hill's family is increasingly unaware of their place as white people in the nation, yet they're trying so hard to understand, appreciate, and love black people in this sort of tomfoolery, ditzy way. Jonah Hill's mom during the movie is essentially the same sort of white liberal that we saw in Get Out. If you guys saw that movie from Jordan Peele, another race-conscious director, that family in Get Out said, you know, I voted for Obama twice.
By the way, I would have voted for Obama for a third term if I could.
We love black people. This is exactly what Jonah Hill's mom, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus in this movie, is like. She talks about how everybody should kneel for the national anthem, in my opinion, and she asked the black girl, you know, what are those braids in your hair? Are those individuals? Are those locks? Trying to understand how black women do their hair. At one point, Jonah Hill's father, when meeting his black girlfriend, hops on the piano and starts playing Ordinary People by John Legend. We're just ordinary people. To impress this girl. So A lot of heavy commentary on specifically white liberalism and this want or need to be accepted by Black people. As far as the actual Black people present in this film and the characters, every single one of them is an asshole.
Oh, snap.
And there's no other way to put it. They are the worst, racist, most rude people you've probably ever seen in your life. And this is by no means what I feel to be a lens or a camera being turned on actual society. Eddie Murphy in particular is the worst of them all, the most racist of them all. As soon as he hears that his daughter is dating a white man, he turns into a bulldog, ferociously going after Jonah Hill and his family. At their dinner, where the parents are meeting each other, Eddie Murphy makes it abundantly clear that he is super pro-Black and that he loves Louis Farrakhan.
The satanic Jews that control everything and mostly everybody.
As he is a Muslim. So think about the dynamics of being at family dinner, meeting, you know, the boyfriend as well as his family who are Jewish and saying, I love Louis Farrakhan.
This kufi that I'm wearing was actually a gift from the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Are you familiar with the minister's work?
Well, I'm familiar with what he said about the Jews.
You know, let's have dinner.
So these dynamics are explored. The family dinner turns into a quite literally fiery argument over racism and comparing slavery to the Holocaust.
We were technically OG slaves.
Are you trying to compare the Holocaust to slavery?
Pass the potatoes.
Which I'll allow you guys to explore on your own and watch if you would like to. But these families go at each other, and while the white people try so hard to be liked by the Black people in this film stand guard in their hatred for white people and for white people's existence in their culture and their desperate attempts to try and get attached to their culture and to try and understand and appreciate it. They just stand there and stare them down with that Eddie Murphy glare the entire time. Now, I know what you're thinking. This can't be the entire movie. How does the movie end? And spoiler alert, we get the most unearned redemption arc of our lives. These two characters, Lauren London and Jonah Hill, in this interracial relationship, end up confronting the parents. Jonah Hill goes to Eddie Murphy and says, you've been dragging me along this whole time. You hate me, but I love your daughter. And Eddie Murphy is taken aback for a second. And Lauren London confronts the white Jewish mother and says, you don't understand me. All you do is view me as this token Black girl, and you can't wait for me to marry your white son so that you can have Black babies. And apparently that's a horrible thing and a horrible position to be in as a Black woman, to have a white woman try to understand you and try to be a part of the culture that you want to gatekeep and you want to keep to yourself and you want to talk about so often, but you don't want to allow white people to talk about. So these separate confrontations happen, and the two part ways.
We are so over.
They're no longer engaged. They're no longer getting married. And Jonah Hill goes back to work, podcasting, and he puts out a podcast detailing his experience, saying, you know what I believe now? I truly believe that white people and Black people are never going to truly vibe together. We're never going to truly get along. But you know what I want to admit? I want to admit that I will never understand what it is to be a Black person in America. I will never have that experience. So that happens. He does his final podcast. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Eddie Murphy's racist, cold, and rotted heart grows 3 sizes.
In Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day.
And he realizes it's okay. I should allow my daughter to marry this guy that I feel is completely unfit for her and who I, quite frankly, very much dislike due to my love for Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. And the two come together in what is a completely undeserved redemption and marry one another. As far as the white Jewish mom, she realized how she was tokenizing this Black woman who entered into her life and apologizes for trying to admire and get to know her and says, you know what, from now on, I will attempt to get to know you as an individual because it wasn't like she was trying to do that before. So, if you want to watch this film and just be beaten over the head with race consciousness for about 2 hours, by all means, please go and do it. There's a star-studded cast on this thing, so I had high expectations for Eddie Murphy in particular. I will say Jonah Hill was the only seemingly level-headed, not super stupid and kind-hearted character in the entire cast. And as I said before, the white people were little dummy idiots who had no common sense and who were just babbling around the entire movie. And the black people were cold-hearted, stone-faced, absolutely outright racist individuals throughout the entire film up until the redemption arc we get at the very end. It is by no means a reflection of modern-day America, even though Kenya Barris, the writer and director of this film, says that he was attempting to do exactly that. And I must say, it was quite the reduction of blackness. If you watch this movie having no understanding of black people and you think it's going to give you some sort of perception of what black life is like, you will walk out with, a fire hose of cultural references to hip-hop, being sneakerheads, graffiti-like art displayed throughout the film, Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, and barbershops. That is what you'll take away. A bunch of very famous and prominent black stereotypes that I'm pretty sure everybody's aware of at this point, and nobody needed a lecture, or at the very least, not a 2-hour lecture on, but alas, we got it anyways in this movie. Now, despite my ramblings of woke ideology and race consciousness, this was not the worst concept for a movie. There are certainly dynamics that come into play in interracial relationships that might not come into play in, normal, I shouldn't say normal, because, people are going to come after me for that one. I myself am in an interracial relationship, but that don't come into play when you're dating somebody of the same race. And I thought this was a brilliant opportunity to maybe explore that, and especially through the lens of comedy. But unfortunately, it fell flat for me. I give this movie a 4 out of 10. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it certainly was not the best. And I'll be on the lookout for Kenya Barris's rewriting and new iteration of The Wizard of Oz, where we travel from Inglewood to Underhood. Can't wait.